Hey everyone, it's actually Jeb Bush, and today we're going to be talking about Top Shot challenge speculations. So, this video is actually an idea I had because I'm a part of the Top Shot Takes Discord server. If you haven't seen Top Shot Takes, which I'm assuming you have if you're watching my video, they make a lot of really good content. They do a ton of live streams, talk about a bunch of Top Shot. Super funny, super great guys. Shout out to Mike, Greg, and Dustin. But yeah, so I'm on their Discord server, and probably my favorite channel in that server is the challenge channel. And this challenge channel, we're constantly speculating what the next challenges could be, how we could get ahead of it, whether that's to make profit or to complete a challenge on a much cheaper price. Because as we know, these challenges can skyrocket in price. For example, we just had the Cool Cats 5, and because the Jermichael Green and TJ McConnell were 15Ks, they became the bottlenecks, and they squeezed all the way up to $100. So people are paying almost $250 to complete this challenge, and now it's down to being worth about 30 to 40 bucks. I think it's important to have some healthy speculation about what could come so you can prepare accordingly and hopefully have just a leg up in order to complete some of these challenges without having to sell any moments that you actually like or spend actually any money beyond the dapper balance you already have. So today I'm going to talk about a couple of the speculations that we've come up with in the Top Shot Takes challenge channel. Say that 5 times fast. And I'm going to just discuss how likely I think these are to happen and what you might want to do to prepare. And just to clarify, this is not financial advice. It is simply conspiracy theories. That is all. So, the number one, and in my opinion, the most likely challenge that we will encounter is the buzzer beaters / game winners. As you can see, I've listed 9 moments here. Now, there could be 1 or 2 more. Even today, as I'm recording this, Cole Anthony just had another crazy buzzer beater win. Who knows? Maybe that could be a part of it, or maybe that could be one of the rewards. But I think it's important to distinguish, even between these 9 moments, the differences. So these first 3, the Harrison Barnes, the Cole Anthony, and the Damian Lillard, all 3 of them are buzzer beaters and game winners, while the Damian Lee, Tobias Harris, and Devin Booker are more of last-second clutch shots to ice or win a game. And the Maxi Kleber kind of falls into that, and then the Jamal Murray's a buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter. And then we'll get to the Tony Snell in a sec, but I just want to show the 3 that I'm talking about. So I made this showcase just to kind of keep the ones that I have organized. So here's the first one, the Harrison Barnes. He catches it and drains the 3 to win the game. Double team. It's an incredible moment. I really like this moment a lot. Not even a big Harrison Barnes fan, but this is a great moment. And I think it's important to note that they show the celebration of the win in the moment. I think that's significant, personally speaking, because it kind of shows you that it's a game winner. If we look at the Cole Anthony one, same thing. Stop, pop, game. And they show the celebration indicating it's a buzzer beater and it's a game winner, walk-off type of shot. And then finally the Dame Lillard one, same thing. He gets the ball, he's able to put it up, the clock expires, and then after a couple of the replays, they end up showing the celebration. See Ernest Cantor give him a big ol' kiss. So those are the only 3 on my radar where it's a buzzer beater and a game winner with the celebration at the end. These 3, like I said, are close to that, but they're not. And then Kleber and Murray don't fit that category either. The Tony Snell moment, which does fit that, and we can actually pull that up. I don't own that one. So we can look at this moment too, and as you can see, pulls up, hits the game winner, and we see the celebration. So clearly it fits in that category of buzzer beater and game winner. I think the difference is that after the Cool Cats 5 challenge and seeing that Jermichael Green and that McConnell squeezed to almost 100 a pop, I want to say it appears Top Shot has kind of adjusted their strategy that we can see with the Cool Cat 6, where all of these are 35K moments. And then on top of that, all of these, the minimum circulation for any individual moment is 29K. So that is almost double 15K. And I think that's because Top Shot wants to make their challenges much more accessible, at least the common challenges. Cool Cat 6 is the cheapest challenge we've seen thus far, and I think Top Shot wouldn't mind if they could make it even a little cheaper going forward. Because I know a lot of people have been speculating, you'll have to complete a challenge to be able to be eligible for a pack. But I think in order for Top Shot to do that, at least in their mind, they are going to want more people to have completed a challenge. Because if we look at the last couple of pack drops where they've had requirements to join the queue, they're letting about 20 to 30% of the user base in to try and grab a pack. And I would imagine right now the percentage of people who have completed as a challenge is probably below 10%, not even close to 20-30%. So I think that completing a challenge will become a requirement. I don't think it's as close as some people think. And I think that's because Top Shot is really trying to lower the floor of completing a common challenge. And one thing that'll actually be really interesting is maybe going forward, let's say they have 10 moments listed, and out of the 10, or not, let's say they have 5 moments listed, but out of the 5, you can get one of the 2 moments. So, for example, Top Shot just announced that there are several moments that instead of adding to the circulation, they're making the 35K limited edition, and they're just adding new 35K moments for these players. I think James Harden's is one of them. So, in a future challenge, what if you had to have a James Harden, but it could be either 35K James Harden? Suddenly the circulation goes from 35K to 70K without them having to make a moment that has a 70K circulation. And once that happens, I think that's when Top Shot starts to require a challenge completion in order to get a pack, because they've lowered the floor so much. You would think that if they do that, I could imagine that floor gets cut in half. So this challenge here, if they pulled that strategy that I'm speculating on, that's going to cut this below $100. And once they have a challenge below 120 or below 100, I think that changes everything. And I think that's when they start to say, oh, you have to complete a challenge in order to be qualified for this pack, because we've made the challenge accessible to people who maybe don't have a couple $100 to just throw at moments that will completely lose their value. So that's something to speculate. And I think, going back to my main point, I think that's why we won't see a 12K moment in there, because the 15K moment already was this insane squeeze. I don't see Top Shot being like, yeah, let's let Tony Snell jump to 150 and then drop all the way back down to 10, because that's just not healthy for the market, and especially for new users who might not completely understand how the challenges work and the supply and demand of certain moments. That can be a real turnoff for them to just randomly join and be like, oh, Tony Snell's my favorite player, I'll buy him for $50, and then just watch him tank into the ground for as far as they think, no apparent reason. So I think Top Shot, like I said, they're trying to mitigate that. So anyways, buzzer beaters, games winners, I think personally that there's no way that this doesn't eventually happen as a challenge. Maybe it happens with the hustle and the show packs that are coming out, because buzzer beater is a pretty showy moment, but we'll see. The next theory that people have come up with is the Kittens theory. So that is players who play in the NBA whose dads played in the NBA. And I think this one's really good for a couple reasons. One, because it really fits the Cool Cats theme. It's kind of a cute pun, which is what NBA Top Shot's been doing with these Cool Cat challenges. And then two, I think there's a massive, massive list of possible players. So I just grabbed 11 here, but I do believe there are more players that have moments that dads played in the NBA. Once again, Top Shot, I think, is trying to make these common challenges more accessible. And when you have a much bigger pool of moments to grab from, it's harder for someone like me who's constantly in the challenge channel speculating what the next challenge could be to buy up a bunch of these moments and create an artificial bottleneck, which once again ultimately kind of hurts the marketplace long term. Yeah, some people might make some good profit that they can buy actual moments they want, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it definitely can make new users a bit jaded, especially ones who don't understand the whole challenge dynamic. So in this case, there's quite a few different moments that they could do a combination of to kind of ensure that these moments don't get pumped even before the challenge starts. So I think that's a really, really good possibility for one of these next two Cool Cat challenges, and maybe might be a challenge way in the future. I don't see how it would fit into the hustle and show. But yeah, it's a good, really good theme for a challenge. Once again, I see something like this happening for sure. Now, the next one, I really like this one, is the Black Cat challenge. And this refers to the players who were the number 13 draft picks. I do think this is a little less likely to happen, but this one was kind of conceived when Zach LaVine got minted on the blockchain as the reward for the Cool Cat 6. We all started speculating what it could possibly mean, and someone came up with this, and this was a really, really cool creative idea. I have a couple of the players listed here. I think there might be one or two more, but while this one's a little more unlikely simply because, once again, there's not a massive pool to grab from, and by keeping it this narrow makes it hard for Top Shot to prevent the market from pumping and creating artificial bottlenecks. I do think this is a really, really cool idea, and I really like this one. But I'd say in terms of likelihood of this happening, I would give it maybe more of like a 5 or 6 out of 10. The next one we have is dunk contest winners. This was another one that got highly speculated, especially after Zach LaVine was minted as the reward for Cool Cat 6, because, I mean, when you think Zach LaVine, you think incredible dunks. Like, it's synonymous with that. So here's a list of all the dunk winners in the most recent years. They had just released a Blake Griffin, his first dunk with the Brooklyn Nets, and it was his first dunk on Top Shot. The Diallo dunk on there is good. Same thing with the Ross one, etc., etc. I do think that this challenge will happen. However, this challenge I don't think will happen in the near future. I think this is a challenge we maybe see when the next All-Star weekend comes around. Because so this last All-Star weekend, they did everything in one day because of COVID, and it wasn't this big spectacle like it usually is. And as a result, because there wasn't just an entire day dedicated to the dunk contest, I think Top Shot decided maybe to hold off on that. But I think a year from now, when everything, fingers crossed, is back to normal and we're having the dunk contest, this is a very probable challenge that they could add for like maybe a special All-Star weekend full of challenges where maybe they have a daily challenge for the entire All-Star weekend or something like that. This one would be something that's really cool. So, I mean, I have a Diallo. I think I have a Blake Griffin. I'm not buying any of these moments right now, but I'm also not trying to sell my Griffin or my Diallo because, first of all, I like the Griffin moment. I think it's a really good moment. Diallo one's okay, but I don't see any point in getting rid of it right now because it could be used in a future challenge. So I think this one's actually very likely. I just don't see it happening anytime soon, especially not with Cool Cats and probably not with Hustle and Show either. There could be a dunk-related Hustle and Show challenge, but probably not dunk contest winners specifically. Another one that's got brought up, and I believe this was one that was already used in Cool Cats, but that was before I joined Top Shot. So in the comments, let me know if that's the case. The reason this one got brought up was specifically because there were 5 scene stars that went to a college with a Cat Mascot: Julius Randle, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, and I think Curry was the last one. There was also this speculation, like in office hours and all this stuff, the Top Shot people have mentioned seen stars a lot. They've talked about having moments maintain their utility and trying to discourage people from selling moments as soon as they get them, or like before they're done with a challenge, because everyone knows they're going to tank type of deal. So the speculation kind of surrounding this was, oh, there's going to be some seen stars. Top Shot's mentioned it a bunch. There's only 5 that have a Cat Mascot. Maybe this is what Top Shot was referring to. Obviously, this was not the case, but I do think this is a very possible chance in the future. The next 2 are ones that I feel much less confidence about. I honestly don't see these happening whatsoever. I've seen people floating these. There's someone on Twitter who went really off the deep end and did all this digging and crazy research to figure these out. So the first one was players in the NBA with cat tattoos. I don't think this will ever happen. I think this is diving a little too deep and being a little too granular. It seems that the Cool Cats challenges, they're trying to have the moments be a theme. So for example, when you watch the moments in the Cool Cats 6, you can look at them and be like, oh, they're all alley-oops. When you look at a collection of moments of players who have cat tattoos, you're not going to know that unless you know what the challenge is. And I think, once again, Top Shot's trying to make this a little more fun, a little more casual for the everyday user, instead of some of the hardcore people who are diving and doing all this research. And I think the same thing applies to players who own cats. I don't see this really happening. It's a fun idea, but once again, that's not really involving basketball. And I think NBA Top Shot's trying to have the challenges center around the moments, the highlights, not little things like this. So I don't see these happening. I would give this like a 1 out of 10. Really unlikely. And then finally, some other very valid theories that could totally happen. We have the cat in the hat theory, so players with the biggest hair, maybe like Jared Allen. The catastrophic theory, players with the biggest fails. The cat fight theory, players who have been ejected for fighting. The catapult theory, players with the biggest hops. The catitude theory, players with massive egos. And my personal favorite, the Steven Adams theory, where you collect all Steven Adams moments and the reward is a moment of Steven Adams wearing cat makeup. So those are the theories and speculations that myself and other people in the Top Shot Takes Challenge channel have come up with over the last week. We've clearly run rampant with some of these and had a lot of fun, which I've really enjoyed. But I do think there's a lot of valid speculation and a lot of ways to get ahead of the curve. Like, for example, even if buzzer beaters and game winners never becomes a challenge, which once again, I don't think there's any way that happens. I think it'll eventually be a challenge somehow. But those moments are good moments to have, and by speculating and identifying the game winner buzzer beaters, you're able to maybe get on those before people months later realize, like, oh, those are really cool moments to have in your collection, and they start to go up. So, like I said, I packed a Harrison Barnes buzzer beater, and I picked up a second one for $6. And at one point, it hit like 14 because I think people were starting to speculate. But it's a cool moment to have, and I think in the long run, that's going to be really important. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Please subscribe. If you have any theories I didn't cover, or you have additional players for theories I did mention, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I love any and all theories, and if we get a bunch of them, I'll gladly make a second video where we review them and decide whether we think these will happen. If you've not seen Top Shot Takes, please go check out their channel. I don't know how you'd see this and not see their videos, so I'm not too worried about that, but they make a lot of really good content. They don't speculate a lot, which is probably good. They're a little more responsible than me. Yeah, check them out. Join their Discord. It's a lot of fun. Everyone there is super nice. Yeah, it's been great. It's a great community. So yeah, thanks to everyone for checking out this video if you made it this far, and I'll talk to you soon.